All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about Farm Folks yet again. Now, this is a game that would not have been talked about by anybody if it wasn't for the controversy that was happening right now, including myself. I am more than willing to admit that. But the funny thing about all of this is that now it seems like the CEO of this company has gone completely masked off. It seems as if after trying to get people's feedback over jiggle physics, it seems like this company has said, oh shit, you know what? We just bent the knee to the woke mob. Gee, what can we do to actually entice this woke mob in the hopes of trying to garner any sales from this complete debacle, considering we just gave up our game and sold our soul to the devil? What can we do? Well, let's just attack gamers, ladies and gentlemen. That's just a simple idea for this absolutely stupid CEO.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Now we have this article from That Park Place with a headline that reads, after apologizing for asking for feedback for its female character physics, Farm Folks CEO implies that gamers are incels as part of a Kotaku hit piece. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this CEO from this game is just completely guaranteeing that he's not going to be around after the game is shortly released, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be real. This game is not going to make nowhere near as much money as it probably could have if they just would have shut the fuck up. But unfortunately, it seems like for these psychopaths, that's just impossible. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says Alex, the CEO of Creativo, the development company behind Farm Folks, implied that gamers are incels as part of a hit piece run by Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante. It says he allegedly spoke with Mercante for over an hour after his game issued an apology asking for player feedback for its female character physics. On April 27th, Farm Folks posted on X, all right, folks, it's time for some serious game development talk. We're tinkering with character physics in Farm Folks. Burning question, which version has the perfect breast jiggle physics? Now, of course, everybody's talking about this simply because of what happened with Stellar Blade and what's continuing to happen with Stellar Blade. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. It almost makes me feel as if the people who are in charge of PR over at Farm Folks absolutely knew that by doing this particular clip and talking about that particular thing, they knew that it was going to go viral online. It was almost impossible for it not to, considering the current discourse that's happening with Stellar Blade and Eve. But it looks like they decided to bend the knee, like we said, and take down the post and issue some completely cringe apology. Then it says, after receiving some backlash from DEI consultancy Black Girl Gamers, who again, they do absolutely nothing other than be the fun police on the internet, Farm Folks deleted their original post and issued an apology. It wrote, "We like to address a recent post where we came to our community asking for feedback. Our intent is always to connect and grow with our players, but it's clear that we really missed the mark on our recent community feedback post. For that, we all sincerely apologize." Now, here's the funny thing. They said that they made this post because they get a lot of questions regarding the physics of their female characters from players, right? They'll get emails, they'll get whatever, they'll get asked questions about these physics. So they knew that a lot of their fan base was asking these questions about these characters because they wanted to see it in the game. And so they made that community feedback post because they thought that they would have a community that was actually going to give them feedback. Lo and behold, though, you did it on Twitter. And when you do it on Twitter, things just completely lose your, it's never a safe space to do a post like that on Twitter, because let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, good old Twitter is not going to be able to give you proper feedback because you have too many psychopaths on that platform. It's not a thing, right? Like, if you want to run a post here and there is fine, but if you're asking for genuine feedback, yeah, you're not going to get that. It says, Farm Folks continue, we have received concerns about the female players' model's breast physics in the past, which is what I was saying before. And we thought that we should ask the community what felt more appropriate. Now, I don't know why you would ask your community what would be more appropriate for breast jiggle physics when at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're 1% jiggle or you're 99 to 100% jiggle or above and beyond. It doesn't matter. You're always going to upset someone. Oh, someone's always going to be out there thinking it's too much, or someone's going to be out there thinking it's too little. Just do the fucking number that you feel comfortable doing and let it rock. When you ask these questions publicly, you know that you're asking for a lot of negative feedback. You know that that's probably what's going to happen. So it makes you look like good guys when you bend the knee and apologize. But who are you bending the knee to? You're not bending the knee to people who are going to buy your game. That's for fucking sure. I highly doubt. Look at what happened with Tales of Kanzara. Everybody who said, oh yeah, I bought that game just to own the chuds. Yeah, what? All 4,000 of you? Like, you're not really selling many copies. And then to top it all off, this game has even a lesser name than that game because that game was published by EA and it also had Sweet Baby Inc. behind it and all that drama, so it had a lot of controversy surrounding it. Then it says that next, the game's developers stated, "We value the feedback of our community." Well, that's apparently a lie. I'm not even going to bother with that because if you did, you wouldn't have deleted the post and then wrote this completely cringe apology, which I already covered in a previous video. Now, in an interview with Kotaku's Mercante, he further addressed the original post and the apology. First, addressing the original post, he explained the wording was silly. He will later elaborate. The original idea was, yeah, we spiced it up with a joke, which was the problem. But the general idea was to make sure that we were doing breast physics right because our game is very immersive. It's not that we're fixated on women's parts. Our entire character's body is full of technology. To me, breast movement was not controversial since it's human biology. Okay, I can stand by that statement. I'm okay with that. All right, you went and you made a post that was a little bit out there, a little bit stupid, a little bit silly, but at the end of the day, you're still dealing with actual real biology. And if you're trying to make a character that's as immersive as possible, then yeah, you probably should focus on a little bit of biological aspects, all the way down to maybe some jiggle physics. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a controversial thing. That should not be a crazy thing to talk about. But unfortunately, we're surrounded by psychopaths who apparently don't understand or believe that women's breasts do jiggle in real life. It says, as for the apology, he explained, "We're apologizing for the wording, and there's people saying you guys shouldn't apologize, not cool. You should stand up to the crowd. No, we fucked up. We're happy to apologize." He also confirmed that we have female breast physics. Regarding elegant, tasteful breast physics implementation, I still think that we're going to do it. I honestly would highly doubt that they do it. Even though he's saying he still think they're going to do it, I don't think that's the case. I think that he's saying that in the hopes that maybe he can kind of let the storm die down and get some sales from it, but I don't really think it's going to happen. I think they're going to dial it back to an almost minimal effect, if not completely remove it. I wouldn't be shocked if they did remove it. It says Mercante then detailed that she asked him about joining the game's Discord in bad faith or those who believe that boobies should be bouncing at 150% physics. In an edited response by Mercante, he told her that we don't want vulgarity because, like, it can be fun, it can be a little bit goofy, it can be memey, but we're not going after, like, over-sexualization goofiness in the ways like Conan Exiles when you can modify penises and things like that. We've listened to our community. We heard that sometimes we talk like about implementing that jiggle physics, right? Which again, like we obviously have tons of settings for any kind of physics, like the body parts, just like we can do it with soft spots like the butt. We could do it with chest, shoulders, anything that we're assigning it. It just makes it immersive. He continued. Next, he shared, but to answer your question, no, we don't want to attract nasty people. We don't want those. We will have some limits, like as much as we want to give it, but it's so controversial. I want the player to choose how they want their character to look. Like if you want, for example, the breasts to have a little more movement or not. But like, again, it's not going to be like you scroll the physics slider up and then this is just going to go all over the place. And then it's like goofy. We are definitely not tailoring our game for little kids. We want to spice it up for people to have action, to have fun, that he said. Now, again, guys, if he thinks that it's nasty people that are interested in stuff like that, or it's nasty people that play games like Conan Exiles, I mean, what do you mean by nasty people? I don't understand. You say you're not making a game for kids, and yet you're so scared to have an adjustment slider for different physics in the game because adults can't handle it, like, or that you're going to attract nasty. What does that even mean? That's just so stupid. Like, obviously, you know that you're making a game for most likely adults, right? You say you don't want to attract kids, so that means that you're making a game for adults. Okay, if you're making a game for adults, why are you being a nanny with your game? This is the problem that I have with a lot of censorship and AAA nonsense or AA nonsense or gaming in general nonsense, is that they constantly want to play nanny to you. They want to make sure that they get offended for you. They want to control your level of offense by how much they would get offended. And it's the most stupid thing in the world. Don't do that. Just make the game as you want to make it, whether zero physics or a lot of physics, and let the market decide whether or not they want to support you. That's it. When you try to virtue signal with what you're doing in the game and you try to ride the fence and say, well, we might have it or we might not have it, or we're just going to have a slider, but it's not going to be too much and it's not going to be too little. When you ride that fence, you're going to piss off everybody instead of making anybody happy. And that's what people like this need to learn. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?